Fetty Wap is arrested. There's a lot of shenanigans going on with this redistricting, and Rumble buys locals. Let's get to it. Hey, thanks for watching today, the 29th of October. I've got a number of stories to get to today, and I think you're going to like that. But first, I do want to say thank you for all of the people that hit the like button. It means the world to me, and it does make a difference. Thank you. But first, flame on. The main story, or the first story, if you will, that I want to talk about today is Fetty Wap, and he has been arrested. Let's get to the story from the New York Times. So here we are. Fetty Wap is arrested on federal drug charges at Citi Field. The rapper, who's been set to perform at the Rolling Loud Music Festival, will be arraigned on Long Island on Friday afternoon. So I guess that's now. I wonder if Fetty Wap, this just came to me, if he's real happy with the Megan Thee Stallion Cardi B song, that they would kind of change the meaning of his rapper last name. Probably not. But anyway, the rapper Fetty Wap was arrested by the FBI agents at Citi Field in connection with federal drug charges, according to an indictment that was unsealed on Friday. The artist, whose legal name, William Jr. Maxwell II, was arrested on Thursday and was scheduled to be arraigned at a federal court in Central Islip, New York, later Friday. He and 5 co-defendants, including a New Jersey correction officer, were charged with conspiring to distribute and possess controlled substances. Officials said the defendants had transported, distributed, and sold more than 100 kilograms of drugs, including heroin and fentanyl. The other 5 defendants, who were arrested on various dates within the last month, were also charged with using firearms in connection with drug trafficking. So that's serious business. That's not messing around. But you got to wonder, does this surprise a single person? Is there a single person that is shocked with this? If you are familiar with his music, you know, his big hit was Trap Queen, which was a song about his girlfriend, I guess, that she would count money, store money, produce drugs, store the drugs together, and they were looking forward to buying matching Lamborghinis and all that. He said he wanted to bring trap music to people that didn't know what trap music was. Well, trap music is drug music. That's what trap is. Do you think anyone that would bring drug music to the mainstream might be tied up in something like this? I mean, this doesn't shock me. I don't think it shocks anyone at all. But again, we're in America, innocent until proven guilty. We'll just have to see what comes of this story. That's all I got on that one. Let's go to the next story. This is about the redistricting shenanigans that are taking place. Now, earlier this week, 2 days ago, the AP put out a story about all the evil things that were happening in Texas with those conservatives and what they were doing in redistricting. So let's check out that story here. Voting right advocates sue Texas again over GOP drawn maps. This is from the AP. International news. Austin, Texas. Voting rights advocates are suing Texas again, this time with support from a former U.S. Attorney General over the state's newly redrawn congressional district maps that favor the GOP, claiming the maps dilute the vote of communities of color after growth in America's largest red state was overwhelmingly Hispanic, Black, and Asian American people. Uh, Interesting how that was phrased. The lawsuit was filed Monday by Texas voters and Voto Latino, a Latino voter advocacy organization in Austin federal court, just moments after Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed the redrawn districts into law. Now, there's been a lot of redistricting happening. This is because when the maps are, when the census is taken every 10 years, some states will gain representation, some will lose representation just based on the population in the census. So in Texas, they decided to redraw it, and the Republicans who were in charge drew districts that favored them. This should come as a shock to not a single person, okay? But what I find interesting is this story is getting the national attention. This story is being covered by the AP. But the day before, in my local news, this is what I had. I had this. Again, the day before the AP article, this is KGW, it's the local NBC outlet. Princeton gerrymandering project gives Oregon redistricting maps an F for partisan fairness. The group said states that put redistricting maps in hands of citizens instead of politicians ended up drawing fairer maps. So, Oregon redistricting maps have been approved, but the Princeton gerrymandering project, a team of academics and legal analysts at Princeton University, gave the state a failing grade for partisan fairness. Lawmakers approved the Democrats' plan on a nearly party line vote late last month. The new map includes 6 congressional districts with 5 leaning Democratic and 1 leaning Republican. Oregon got an F because the combination of its maps not being fair to Republicans in the state of Oregon and the fact that there weren't enough competitive districts. Okay, so that is interesting, and you do have to keep in mind that the Oregon story is just in Oregon. That's just a local event. That's just a local thing happening, and it's not even really being covered that much in Oregon. This is not going to be seen on the 6 o'clock news. No. But they will put it up on a website. It isn't even really being covered that much at all locally. But of course, we're in Oregon. Oregon leans left. The media leans left. Why would they concentrate on that story? But they will concentrate on the Texas story, which is pretty much the same thing. When you redraw maps, you can draw them in different ways to favor your political party. So if Republicans do it, it's big news, and they're cheaters. They're not being fair. They're excluding people of color. Yeah. But if Democrats do it, it is what it is. Interesting dilemma there between the two of them. But I would like to know your thoughts on that story as well. Look forward to reading that in the comments. Our third story is with Rumble. Rumble is a YouTube alternative, and they bought Locals, which is a combination, I guess, Patreon, social media company. Now, I've put up, I have accounts on both of them, but they're not doing well on either of them. But we can go to the story here from RT. Now, this is covered in Russia Today, RT. It's interesting that this isn't bigger news. It's as if the American media doesn't want to give any attention to anyone that is not YouTube. So from RT, YouTube competitor Rumble acquires subscription-based platform Locals in free speech-focused expansion bid. Cloud-based video platform Rumble has announced its acquisition of Locals, a platform based on subscriptions, which has attracted many creators alienated by YouTube's increasingly strict censorship of videos outside the mainstream. We are building the rails to a new tech ecosystem that will free everyone from the restraints of editorial control, says their CEO. Locals will provide our Rumble users a new way to generate revenue, one that's not influenced by corporate advisors and special interests, he continued, taking a veiled jab at the ever-tightening control of content issued by YouTube's parent company, Alphabet. So that is, I guess, good news. Good news that some alternatives are combining their resources to hopefully put together a better, bigger project. Here is my channel on Rumble. I was just looking at this, and the video I put out before, the last video I put out got 2 views, and I do have an issue with how Rumble works. I don't really understand it, because I've tried searching for some of my stuff if I'm not logged in, and I can't even find it. The fact that I got 2 views, I think I was one of those views, means that it's not really being offered to anyone. But then I scrolled down to look at some other videos, and I did have this Ilhan Omar update, and that video got 2,600 views. So yeah, maybe I should concentrate on putting out more content on Rumble, because that video did quite well for me. It did way better than the video did on YouTube. YouTube, you can look here, only got 412 views. Over here on Rumble, it got 2,600. So that's something. So I do have a link to the Rumble channel in the description, so you can check me out there. I have been working on trying to live stream this show. I'm still running into some technical difficulties. I'm really trying to work it out, and hopefully I will have a live stream next week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's something. But now I want to talk about the JFK papers. This was big news. I was really looking forward to this, but I'm like Charlie Brown, and the government is Lucy, and they pulled the football again. Yeah. Mother Jones reports, Biden delays the release of JFK assassination records. Even after almost 60 years, the CIA is still sitting on its secrets. Now, the Biden administration announced just before 9:30 on Friday night, that's a week ago, that it would once again delay the long-anticipated release of secret documents surrounding the 1963 assassination of President JFK. The decision stands in contrast to 2 other moves made by the administration favoring the release of potentially sensitive but historically important documents. So they are kind of blaming this on J6 and 9/11. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so Trump was going to release this, and then Trump kicked the can down the road. He did release some of the documents were released, but he said it would all be released earlier this week. It was set to be released on October 26th, but the government decided, and they even pulled a COVID thing, They said, we're just not able to do it right now, so we're going to keep all that secret even longer. This should not surprise anyone. I was looking forward to this being released, and again, we don't get what we want. And what's funny about this is they will then complain that they'll complain about conspiracy theorists making guesses as to what went on when they could release the papers and then they choose not to. So that's, yeah, let me know your thoughts on that story. And now I would like to do the segment presented without comment.
Reported by The Sun. Health news. Rare case. Vaginal ulcers could be new but extremely rare complication of COVID jabs, doctors claim.
No comment. And lastly, let's get to some good news.
I could use some good news to pull me through.
And this good news concerns tap water, and it actually works better than 100% pure water. So here we are. This is from Science Daily. Tap water produces a protective shield against microplastics. This was published October 21st. This is from Trinity College in Dublin. Tap water produces a natural protective shield against harmful microplastics, which can help prevent household products such as plastic kettles from releasing them. That's according to a team of scientists from blah, blah, blah. The research published in the Chemical Engineering Journal reveals that tap water contains trace elements and minerals which prevent plastics from degrading in water and releasing microplastics. Microplastics can carry a range of contaminants such as trace metals and some potentially harmful organic chemicals. So what they determined is they would talk about these microplastics and how dangerous they were. This has come up a lot with the BPA and different water bottles and things like that. And what they found was the research that had been done in the past, they were using pure water in the experiments. And they tried it with tap water, and they got different results. Well, that's good, right? That means that things are actually a little bit safer than they had originally thought. And that's also good because nobody has a laboratory at their house where they're making pure water to use in their kettle. Now, if you have a plastic kettle, throw it out. Get a nicer kettle. Okay? Get a nice stainless steel kettle or something. Plastic kettle is just, you're looking for trouble. But regardless, they found out that things aren't as bad as they originally thought when you use tap water. And surprise, surprise, when people use a kettle, they use tap water in the kettle. They don't use pure water that they would get from a laboratory. So that's the good news for today. I do want to thank everyone for watching to the end, sharing this video, liking it. I look forward to your comments. I look forward to doing a live stream as soon as I can figure out how to synchronize the audio. But I hope you have an awesome weekend. Peace.